All right, I'm going to show you how I add our human hair. This is our human hair here. And I'm going to cut only about a 1-inch section. It really doesn't take much to get your human hair added. I'm going to cut off the sewn portion. And I'm going to take about half of this and just to shred it apart really good. I don't want any strands hanging thick because I'm going to pull these through. Bunch of loose hair here. I'm going to pull this through with a crochet hook. I'm going to use a what is this? Latch hook. That's it. It's a little tiny latch hook. You can find these at hobby stores. Most hair suppliers that are carrying synthetic hair will be able to hook you up with a hook. So I have this literally loose, ugly hair here. And I'm going to just kind of set it up on my strand and go through and start pulling some hair through. Does not have to be perfect. Just have to get it through. So by the time these are done, they look like somebody's blonde hair that has been dreaded and maintained, which is a nice look. They do look natural, especially when you can see the hair that's been pulled in with the hook. I don't know that other people would notice hair that's been pulled in. I do, but maybe that's because we're trained on doing dreads, so we can tell when somebody's hair has been freshened up. Because I mixed that hair up and kind of rolled it around in my hands and balled it up, there's no it's just kind of loose fibers that you're pulling through, and it's creating a like a mesh around your synthetic dread that you just made. And so I have a mesh here of human hair. You can grab these little guys that are hanging out, do a little twist and pull them right through with your latch hook. Because we want these to look natural and not freshly maintained, but natural and reasonably maintained. My client that has ordered these kind of likes that shaggy hair hanging, those little broken hairs that you see on people's dreads, or they're just hairs that kind of need to be pulled through. She likes that look. It makes them look very natural and a little unkept. So that's part of why we're adding this hair. It's going to give us that softness on the outside. It's adding the camouflage so that we can have a more platinum look. But as you see, it does not take much human hair to be added. That right there is enough to get you going. As you pull through with your crochet hook, you can feel the dread getting tighter and harder, and you want that because you know that it's mixed in there really good and that it's going to set really nice. If they're too loose and they flatten real easy to the touch, then you just don't have enough back combing in there, and that's something you're going to want to protect or perfect before you actually start adding your human hair. So now we're going to go grab this other bit, separate that hair really good. I mean, you're really just separating this hair into one big mess. You want it to be very cobwebby Now, this section that I'm not done with yet, you can see where I've finished the section up top. Now I'm gonna kind of stretch this out, kind of wrap it around my remaining dread here. And just hold it with your hands and start pulling little hairs through just to get it attached. It's okay that you're pulling hairs from all different directions. The more you start pulling through, the more attached it'll become. And with wearing and rolling and curing, those human hairs are going to be well attached in here. They're not going to pull out. So just keep kind of twisting and pulling your hair through. I've watched a lot of videos. Who is it? Dr.Locks has excellent educational videos available for us. I just love watching their videos. They were really helpful. But once I got started making dreads, I was finding that they helped me get my basic technique down for making synthetic and human hair dreads. But what I found was, every time I made a set for a client, I always had some sort of specialty questions that kind of went beyond the basics that I was taught. And so I find that every time I make a set of dreads, it's always something very custom, and you get that opportunity to challenge yourself and figure out how to creatively create this beautiful set for your client. So just keep working that blonde hair in, the human hair. You can see how my dread is starting to get tighter, starting to look more like a dread. If you were not adding the human hair, your process will go much faster, as you well know if you've done these. And these are not getting added to dreads that she's currently wearing. They're actually getting tied in at her scalp with a cable stitch. So she'll wear them for a month or 6 weeks till whenever she's done partying with them. But she's really excited. She's been wanting to do this for a long time. So I'm hoping that she'll get as much wear as possible out of them. Her hair is not blonde. She has shorter hair, and it is bleached up with, I think currently she has pink roots and teal ends, but her hair is only about 4 to 5 inches long. So it really doesn't matter. If you have a different color hair and you want blonde extensions, you just add that blonde right on top of that color. I think it looks cute having all that funky punky color at the scalp. And she is going to look super hot with these. So keep working all the way down the end. Just keep pulling hairs through. The nice thing about not working on your client's actual head, you don't have to worry about breakage, just do your job. So you can see it's starting to look tighter. It's starting to look like a real dread. Down here, our tail is pretty fluffy, so we're just going to keep pulling hairs through and get it to tighten up. If your ends fall apart on you while you're doing this, just grab your comb, get some back combing back in there. And grab your latch hook and pull some more fibers through. All my human hair has already been attached. All right, so we've got a completed dread. So now here's the ridiculously non-technical part. I like these palm rolled before I set them with the steamer. It shows me, by palm rolling a little bit, I start to see any fibers that are hanging out that I need to pull in. And the best way for me to do that is to literally palm roll them on my thigh. I can feel the heat and the friction. But it really works for me. It's a little easier. So I grab the hair where I had it attached with my clip, and I start my palm rolling there. I can feel the dread actually rolling. I can feel the heat starting, and just give it a really hard roll all the way down your hair strand. So I just pull with my left hand, kind of slowly get down to the ends. So just from that one little friction roll, it's tightening up and it's getting harder. You want your dreadlocks to have a little bit of substance to them. If they're super soft and pliable, they're probably going to fall apart on you. There we go. Now we have one side. One side of our dread is finished as far as your back combing is going, but they're not set yet, and I'll show you how to set them as soon as we get this other side going. So now you have one side done, you have one side to go. When you go to connect, when you go to clip it, don't clip it up here at the straight hair. Clip it where you've already finished it off. Oops. Clip it where you've already finished it off, because you're going to need to back comb very tight. Even though that's already back combed, you want to hit it again and get make sure that section's really tight, because that's where your client's hair is going to be wrapped. So you want that a nice round dread where you're attaching without any weird fibers hanging out. So just get that back comb in there nice and hard. And then start on the rest of your dread.